Okay, so I had to turn my thing off to go finish coughing, and as it turns out, the page that I was on before only went up to board 16 anyway, so I moved it to a different hand record. So let's continue on. So board 16, if you look at the hand now, West opens, and West has 8, 10, 12 points. So even though it's a stiff queen, you'd still definitely open this hand. And some people open this hand a diamond, planning to rebid two clubs, and others open at a club, planning to rebid a no trump. And you just have to talk to your partner about what makes the most sense for your partnership. So let's say you open a club, and North bids a diamond, and East passes. South tries a heart, uh, pass. North bids a no trump, pass. And if you do play that one heart is non-forcing, then you definitely just have a 3-no bid. Otherwise, if you play that one heart is forcing, your partner could still have as few as like 8 high card points. So you may want to just try 2 no trump. So regardless, I think North South should get to 3-no from the north side. And East should not really try to do anything creative like hit their partner. As it turns out, their long suit is hearts, so South kind of picked off their surprise attack lead. So they should really just lead the 7 of clubs here. And if you want to be like really creative, you could try the Jack of clubs, just to try to make your partner's life easier. But anyway, so if you do lead a club, Declare can try the queen. If they do, they win the ace, and just basically pound out clubs. And because the diamonds are 4-2. So North is going to win the club eventually and just hope that the diamonds come in for 5 tricks. And they're going to take the finesse through the opening bidder, of course. But unfortunately, they're going to find out that the diamonds don't break. So if the diamonds did come in for 5 tricks, you would have 5 diamonds, 2 hearts, and 1 club, which is still only 8 tricks. So what you really are just hoping is that maybe West is going to come under some pressure for discards, and hopefully they discard a club or something, or that you can play the heart suit for 3 tricks. And here, when you find out that that the diamonds don't come in, and at our table, East pitched a heart. So basically, your only hope is that they pitched a heart from 4 small or something like that, because when you cash the king of hearts, the queen will drop. And even though it's percentage to finesse the heart, your only play is that this guy started with queen jack doubleton and now the hearts are running. So and it doesn't cost you to just play a heart to the ace, because after East is done cashing their winners, they'll have to give you a spade anyway. So anyway, 3-no down 2 is pretty normal. The only way you can really go down 1 is if you just give up on making it and just drive out the spades and allow East to cash their winners. Alright, next board, board 17. So North deals and passes, and East passes, and South has a hand, so they're going to do something. Let's see what they do. South has 8, 10, 16, 17 count. So you could open a diamond and reverse into hearts. I think you're strong enough to do that. Or you could just try a no trump. And if you do open a no trump, this guy is going to pass, and North is probably going to make an invitational bid, and then you'll end up in 3-no trump. And basically, to beat 3-no, this guy has to just lead the ace of spades, which is pretty blind guess. So if you end up in 3-no after opening a no trump, you actually get a very good match point score. As you can see that you do make 5 of either minor. So at imps, it's not that important. If you do open a diamond, it's going to go pass, and North is going to try a no trump because they have no other bid. And this guy's going to pass, and since you went out of your way to open a diamond, you should really continue with 2 hearts. That way, that way you really pinpoint the spade weakness, just in case no trump is not right. And if you'll notice, no trump is definitely not right once your partner has bid the no trump. So I think over two hearts pass, and now North should probably. They have a few options. If you play that your systems are on, like your normal reverse stuff is on, then the well, you should basically figure out which of their bids show a good hand and which ones are non-forcing. And so whatever the case, I think North has a pretty decent hand. They can just try three clubs, which is natural. And South obviously can't bid a no trump, so they continue with four clubs, and you may get to five of a minor, or you may just stop in four clubs if you decide that your collective values aren't quite good enough. And as you can see, five of a minor is basically on the diamond finesse. And three no is kind of on that too. So at our table, I actually had a very interesting decision. My partner did open a no trump, and this hand elected to show majors, which I think is a little peculiar with only 4-4 in the majors. But over the majors showing bid, which I believe was two hearts, I think it was two hearts. I don't really remember which, but the point is that I don't really have an invitational bid anymore. So what I just decided to do was just jam 3 no. Because, you know, we might make it, and it's not going to allow my left-hand opponent to show which major they prefer. So my right-hand opponent is going to be in the dark on leading here. So he did lead a spade around to the king, and my partner ended up making 6, I believe. Alright, board 18. So East deals, and has a pretty normal 12 count, so they open a club. And South, at vulnerable, you know, I don't know if you want to try overcalling a heart or not. Certainly your suit texture is good. Of course, you don't have any honors, and you have that dreaded 5-3-3-2 shape with a bunch of queens. So a heart or not bid a heart doesn't really matter to me. Let's just say you pass, and this hand gets to bid a inverted 2 clubs. North actually might take an action here. They don't really have a clear bid, but they could try 2 diamonds or 2 spades. Certainly, it might even still be your hand if you can catch a 9-card fit in one of your 5-card suits. But I imagine at most tables, North did pass, and East is going to do whatever they do to show a weak no trump, and this hand is probably just going to sign off in 3 clubs. In 3 clubs, I think that you just have to make sure that you are playing clubs from the right side to make 3 clubs, and hopefully you don't lose a club trick there. In 3 no trump, I mean 3 no basically has no play on a few different leads. If you lead a diamond from the north hand, or the south hand, of course, or if you lead a heart from the south hand. So if you did manage to make 3 no, that would be a very good result for you, for sure. And so now we're on to the final match. And we start out with a very exciting looking hand, although it's actually not that exciting. So this South deals and passes, and West has this kind of monster, 7, 14, 18, 21 count. And so your options are you can open 2 no trump and just get your points off your chest. You can try 1 spade and then plan to jump shift into 3 clubs. And some people might actually open 2 clubs. But if you do open 2 clubs, I think I would continue with 2 no, because I don't think your hand is quite what your partner's going to expect from 2 clubs to spades. I think your spades should really be better. So whatever you do, your partner is going to transfer you to spades, and depending on how much you overbid your hand already, you may choose to super accept, or you may choose to just accept the transfer. But anyway, you're going to end up in 4 spades. North is going to lead the king of diamonds, and they're going to draw trumps, and they can basically ruff a heart and then play a diamond out and hope that if North wins it, their little end played. They obviously can't play a red suit because that would declare a rough and slough. So they have to play a club, and if North plays the club from their side, that's going to allow East-West to get away without losing a club. So what you really need to do is make sure that your carding is such that you can allow South to win the diamond trick, and so they can just play a low club and you keep your club trick. And so then they'll lose a diamond and a club for making 5. But, this kind of stuff's not too important when you're playing imps anyway. Then the next board, board 20. So West deals and passes, North passes, and East has 8, 10, 15, 17, and so opens 1 no trump. South passes. This hand does not have quite enough to do anything. So they're going to pass, and North passes. And South has nothing better to do. They're just going to try a spade lead. And so they lead a spade, and North or East-West, basically their only real play here is they're going to take the finesse in the suit where they have the more honors. So they're going to take the club finesse, which works. Of course the diamond finesse works also. But when they take the club finesse, they'll get 4 clubs, 4 spades, and the ace of diamonds. And they probably are not going to take the diamond finesse unless the opponents have pitched in such a way that it would be safe, because they're just going to say, like, thank you, we didn't get a heart lead. So in that case, they'll make 3 no trump. Now, at our table, for some reason, they opened a minor on this hand, so then the other hand responded to no trump, and it went 2-no, and I was North. I had an automatic heart lead, so then we ran our first 5 hearts, but unfortunately couldn't take any other tricks. Alright, so now North deals, and if you were playing Polish 2s, where hearts shows hearts in a minor, you could open this hand, but I'm guessing most of you are not, so you would pass. And East is just going to open some number of spades. They could try 1 spade, or they could try 4 spades, really. And I think being in second seat, I would actually just open this 1 spade. I do have the spade suit, which, I'm not too worried often when I have the spade suit. And we could very easily have a slam with this kind of hand. But there's definitely a lot of merit to opening 4 spades, as it really just jams your opponents out of the auction. So it's certainly possible that they are maybe making something at the 5 level, although you have enough defense that I think that probably they're not. So if you do open 4 spades, South has a pretty decent hand, but not quite enough to double 4 spades with their partner being a passed hand. And North is going to want to do something, but again, doesn't really quite have enough, especially when North-South is vulnerable. And so this is going to go all pass. And if you play diamonds the normal way, by playing a diamond to the Jack Ace, and then the Queen of Diamonds coming down Doubleton will allow you to make 5. If you open 1 spade, the auction is going to get a little more lively. It's going to go 1 spade double. Your partner is going to bid 2 spades or 2 hearts if that's a constructive spade raise. And North is probably going to just jump to 4 hearts with the 5-5 shape. And East is going to bid 4 spades. And South probably doesn't have another call, so they're passing. But now that North knows that South has values, they may try 5 clubs next. And then East may take the push to 5 spades, basically not knowing who's making what on this deal, which actually makes, and is likely to get doubled, as our teammates did get doubled in 5 spades making. So certainly this was a hand where you were making more of the thing, so it's okay for you to be opening at the 1 level, letting the opponents into your auction. Because if you had elected to double 5 hearts or 5 clubs, notice that the opponents are going for 500. But it doesn't always have to be that way, so definitely a 4 spade bid has a lot of merit. Okay, now board 22. So East deals and passes, and South passes, and This 11 count, I think most people would open this being in third seat. Uh, so if you do open this, you may open a club or a diamond, depending on your style. North overcalls one spade, sorry, and East has enough probably to try two hearts. If you really don't like your heart texture, you could try a negative double and correct your partner's bid to two hearts. But at our table, they did bid two hearts, and it went pass. Notice that East is a passed hand, so normally two hearts would be forcing, but it's not anymore. And North kind of has a little bit of a conundrum here. They definitely don't want to just sell out to two hearts, and I don't think they have quite enough defense on their hand because their entire hand is in spades that they really want to be doubling here. So I think that what I chose to do was just rebid two spades, and unfortunately, two spades is just going to be down one basically. If one of the heart honors was on side, on my lead, they led the king of clubs, and it went low, low, ace. So now I let a heart up, and basically all I need is one heart honor on side, and then I have a good shot of making my contract. Unfortunately, they were both offside, so I was not really able to set up a pitch for anything in the heart suit. And as it turns out, because of the way that the hearts are, and the fact that two spades are cashing and such, that we are beating two hearts one trick. So if you elected to double with the north hand, which is not unreasonable, then you would go plus 100, or plus 200 actually. But usually the double shows a little more defensive strength, a little more high cards basically. So we're heading into the home stretch, and South deals and passes, and this guy has a 10 count and probably passes, and now North opens one heart, and East is definitely going to bid some number of spades. It's a little matter of your style, how many spades you want to bid, whether you bid one or two spades. But let's say that you do bid two spades. And now South should definitely bid three hearts, even though they have ace queen of spades. These are not dead values here, like king queen of spades might be. And you have the 3-card heart fit, you have a side 5-card suit, a doubleton. All these add up to a 3-heart bid. And notice that over the 2-spade bid, of course, your 3-heart bid is no longer just like any heart raise. You actually have a somewhat decent hand. And over 3 hearts, I think that this guy should shove in a 3-spade bid, just to make life difficult for your opponents. Of course, if you're worried about pushing them into a game, then you shouldn't. It kind of depends on who your opponents are. But I think with the 3 trumps, a doubleton, and pretty decent hand overall, that you have enough to bid 3 spades. And it might even be your hand in 3 spades. Sometimes your partner is a little weird knowing that you're a passed hand. They might be stronger than you expect them to be. But at our table they passed, and so I had a decision. And I think that because partner doesn't have to bid over 2 spades, and their bid shows a decent hand, that I could really expect that 4 hearts was probably not going to be on worse than maybe like a hook at most. Something like that. I thought it might be a little touch and go, but opposite a constructive heart raise, I think that you want to be there, especially because you have the singleton spade, and you expecting your partner's values to not mostly be in spades. So in 4 hearts, they lead the stiff jack of clubs, which is obviously stiff when you look at the dummy, and it goes low, low, queen. And you might be a little worried about the trumps not breaking normally because they preempted, but once they lead their singleton, they're really not that likely to have another singleton. So here, you can sort of see that if you try to ruff a diamond, then East is going to get a ruff in clubs, so you can't do that. But if you draw trumps and then drive out the club, they're going to be able to cash 3 rounds of diamonds. So what you kind of have to do is you just have to bank on the spade finesse here, which is likely to be on side when they overcall 2 spades. So you draw 3 rounds of trumps and then just lead a spade up and take the finesse. And the good thing about imps here is that if this loses and now they cash 3 diamonds, whatever, you were going down anyway, you're just going down an extra trick. But yeah, so as it turns out, the finesse wins, happy days. So you cash the ace of spades, pitching a diamond, and then you drive out the club. So now when they get in with the club, all they can do is take their two diamond tricks if they want them. And if they don't take their two diamond tricks, it's going to go away on the fifth club. And last board, so West deals. West has 8, 12, 16 points. And so I do think this hand is good enough to reverse if the auction allows you to. So you open a club, and North again has a few options. They can try one spade or two spades. Two spades definitely has the advantage of jamming up the auction. One spade will allow you to kind of let your partner know that you have some stuff, whereas two spades could be very, very light. Like, I really think Queen Jack 10 sixth and a singleton and out is enough for a two spade bid. So I elected to bid one spade. Of course, you could bid two spades. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on personal style, I think. And now East bid three clubs, preemptive, which is a little strong, I think, for that hand. If three clubs was a mixed raise, I think this would be like about the perfect hand strength. But I think that most people in the area play that three clubs is like less than a two club bid, and actually your hand is a little stronger than a two club bid. So they bid three clubs, and South mustered up a three spade call, and if this guy had passed, then I as North would have just passed this bid here, because I don't have a hand, really. I don't expect to be making four spades for sure. But instead, West is obviously bidding, and the question is, what should they bid? And I think that partner should really have five clubs for their jump. So you're looking at maybe something like king fifth of clubs and out. So if your partner has king fifth of clubs and out, if they happen to have a singleton or a doubleton diamond, then you're going to lose a spade, a diamond, and it's going to be on the heart finesse. If they could have a little more, like if you know that your partnership style is that they could very well have another king on the side, or a queen or something like that, you might really just want to give it a go in five clubs. You know, you have a 10 card club fit, and sometimes, you know, like if they have a 3 card diamond suit, maybe it'll go away on the fourth heart if the finesse is on side. And you know, you're not vulnerable, but you are playing imps, so it does serve you well to bid games. So I think that five clubs is not unreasonable on this hand. But let's say you'd elect to bid four clubs and North passes, and unfortunately East just can't bump it in, because they could very well be off three top tricks. They have no idea what their partner's four club bid is based off of. And then South, you know, has already bid his hand, and North didn't raise, which you would tend to raise three spades to four spades a little aggressively, because you know that your partner's options are limited, so you generally tend to play them for a better hand than a worse hand. So they don't really have a bid either. And as you can see, five clubs is going to be on the heart finesse, and if the heart finesse doesn't win and they find the diamond shift, then even four clubs will be kind of down. So knowing that, you kind of do want to be in five clubs, since if the heart finesse wins, you make five, and if it loses, you don't make four. But obviously we say that after seeing all the hands. So anyway, so that was all the hands from Thursday night, June 9th. I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to contact me. And I'll see you next time.